Hello everyone, it's Mark. I am the Sanderson Collector, and today it is time for my library tour. I haven't done one of these for a few years, but I'm getting ready to pack up all my books and move this summer, so it's going to be a while before I have everything in one place, and I've also had a lot of updates since the last time y'all saw everything, so I wanted to go ahead and give y'all a look around my library. So of course we have the chair that I sit in for my videos with an awesome pillow with my glyph. And once we move past that, we have all the bookcases. They're organized starting in this corner with the oversized books and the unique things such as the unbound proofs from some of the Mistborn leatherbounds, Star's End. And then we get down to the main regular bookcase, and we have my advanced reader copies and advanced bound manuscripts. And these are the kind of cream of the crop of collecting the most difficult things to get the initial first books that are sent out to reviewers and are just the rarest of the rare. And I know that I will get questions about why some of my books are upside down. All the books that are shelved upside down are misprints in some way. So this is a misprint advanced reader copy that's missing a chunk of pages, and this is a misprint of Well of Ascension that is actually bound upside down, and so on. You will see those. Sometimes I call those cubes because that's book backwards. So there's a little bit of Sanderson Collector lore for you. On my top shelf here, I have a pair of Mistborn koalas that come from my friend Murphy, who is the premier Sanderson swag collector down in Australia and who wrote the Sanderson swag chapter of my book. And then my other shelf friends here are a series of clay figures by someone whose name I am blanking on at the moment. I will put it up on screen. I commissioned her through Instagram to make these awesome figures for me. And then Axes is a figure by Rick Martin, who put my glyph on the back, and I am very excited by that. This name tag is by my friend Taylor. And after the arcs, I have all the leather bounds with my special guest book right here. The leather bounds are in order of series, so Elantris, and then Mistborn with a space here for Lost Metal, Warbreaker, and then the Stormlight ones. Then I have a couple of other super special books, Cardinalities, Infinity Blade, Lettered Dragon's Bane, the lettered numbered editions of the Subterranean Press books, and the Grim Oak books that are set in the Cosmere. And then you get to all the standard hardcovers. Starting here with Elantris, I have all the series, Cosmere first and then non-Cosmere, and within the Cosmere, they are ordered by publication date of the first book in the series and organized by series. So Elantris Emperor's Soul, the entire Mistborn series, the entire Stormlight series, including the Kraken Dust Jackets from a company that is unfortunately not producing any more dust jackets, so we will not be getting dust jackets for book 5, which is a real bummer. Moving on to the second bookcase, we have more Stormlight, and the reason I have so many Rhythm of War is one of these has like a tip-in sign page, one of them is a normal numbered edition, 2 of them are misprints, and I think one is a later printing of the book, and Wind and Truth. Below that, we have more hardcovers, including the Secret Projects and some very fun misprints of the Secret Projects, Prime books, and so on. Oversized books have gone down here, so White Sand, Dark One, and the like. Then after we get out of the Cosmere, right here at the end of White Sand, we have non-Cosmere stuff roughly organized by first book in series publication date. So we have Reckoner's series, and then Skyward series. Rhythmatist has one copy right down in here, and Frugal Wizard, Legion, and so on. A little bit about the things on my shelves. This is a Larkin that I crocheted from the design made by Mim for the 2024 Dragonsteel Nexus convention. This is a set of spheres. It actually has a battery pack in the back that I need to replace the battery for that lights up the spheres. That is by the same friend who made my pillow. I have a span reed with a gem here, and it is a legitimate fountain pen, really cool. I have a Sanderson Collector's Guild engraved tile by my friend Matt, and I forget who made this, but it is a little woodcut of Ellendale, which is just one of the coolest freaking things I have ever seen. I want all of the maps in this way. Yes, please now. Other things, I have Quaxie's the Collector. I have two little Brandon minifigs, also from Rick Martin. My friend Jimmy made a 3D print of my glyph. This is by the same maker who made the clay minifigs. Doomslugs by Rick Martin. DDF logo by Carly at Dragon Woodshop. The prototype of the Doomslug crochet, this one was made by Mim when she was designing the design for the Doomslug crochet that was the pattern for Nexus or Dragonsteel Convention before it was called Nexus the first year. And this was like the prototype, the advanced reader copy that she sent to me. Stickers by my friends at a podcast whose name is also slipping my mind. It will be on screen. Truthwatcher socks from Brandon, and a bookmark from MG, who did a Doom starter in response to Brandon's mega Kickstarter, and it was hilarious. It's signed and numbered 42. I love it so much. And that is the extent of the hardcovers. Books jump around a little bit here. We go from here up to the top of the next shelf, because the bottom of that shelf, these shelves are too close together and there are paperbacks down there. So up here we have the Mistborn game books, the library hardcovers, and all of the trade paperbacks, including all of the new absolutely awesome ones for the Mistborn series. Moving down, more, including some things that are only available in trade paperbacks, such as Here's Best Dark Fantasy and Horror anthologies, You Want Stories, Writers of the Future, Galactic Empires, Epic. All those are only available as trade paperbacks, handful of book club editions, and then shorter hardcovers, such as the Legions and then the Turtleback books, and then YA paperbacks, Mistborn, Rhythmatist, and that is when we jump back to the second bookcase and get all of the paperbacks down here. We have Reckoners, Skyward, etc. Dragon Riders, this is the only physical versions, are this paperback and hardcover right here. They are the only physical books that have the story I Hate Dragons by Brandon. Writing Fantasy Heroes, which has a unique nonfiction essay about writing, Leading Edge magazines, and smaller hardcovers like the Alcatraz series in the first and second editions, and then the third edition, and then smaller paperbacks, Emperor's Soul, and then down here we have the mass market paperbacks. These last two shelves are mass market paperbacks, and they are all double stacked, so there are mostly mass markets with a few of the smaller hardcovers, like the pocket hardcovers, down here in the back. And we also have Armored, which is one of the only ways to get the heuristic algorithm and reasoning response engine story in print. Moving from that second bookcase back to the third, after these editions here, we have UK editions, starting with the UK first edition Way of Kings hardcover, which is one of the most difficult books to get in hardcover, normal published edition books. It runs several $100. And the newer editions, including the Sprayed Edge versions of the Stormlight series, and Sprayed Edge Wind and Truth, which doesn't match because it was done by Waterstones, and these four were done by Galance, and it's kind of annoying. Swag on this shelf is a Rapho card, as well as the promo cards that were given out for the release of Elantris, with Mistborn coming soon, and promo card for Mistborn with Well of Ascension coming soon. These were made by Isaac and are very difficult to find. And then all of your standard UK hardcovers. I have a pen display from Carly with the standard pens from Year of Sanderson here. Behind it are the UK hardcovers, including the Sprayed Edge editions of Yumi and Sunlit Man. Sunlit Man is especially gorgeous. Finishing out the UK hardcovers, we get the UK trade paperbacks and international paperbacks. There are a bunch of these. Then UK smaller format books, such as the 10th anniversary Mistborn books, which do not match each other at all and always annoy me with their spines. Then we move on to bookcase number 4. At the top here, we have the absolutely gorgeous split editions of the Stormlight books by Galance. And I don't think they're actually ever going to finish this with Wind and Truth either. So, real bummer there. The various pocket hug covers that they love to put out, and the various paperbacks, including Elantris and Warbreaker, which are only out in paperback in the UK. They never had a hardcover release, which is why you did not see them in the hardcover section. And moving down from that, a bunch more of these paperbacks. And this shelf is double stacked as well. You can see there's more of the paperbacks in the back there. And at the very end of the paperbacks, I have the various audio CDs, including a couple things that you can only get as an audio CD, such as the Tour Original Selected Fiction, which has right here, Firstborn by Brandon Sanderson. There is no paper edition of that one. Writing Excuses, First 5 Seasons. So some cool stuff in the audio there. And that concludes the English language editions of my collection. After that, we get foreign language editions. These are all organized alphabetically by the language that they are in. And so we start at A with Arabic, which is a relatively new addition to my collection. Thank you so much to the people who sent me these. Strife and Dave, I believe, were the ones who collaborated to get these to me last year. We have the Bengali illegal editions. One of the sprayed edge Bulgarian editions. I still need the rest of the Stormlight books. Some other amazing Bulgarian editions, including the wood covers for Emperor's Soul and the Skyward books. Those are some of my absolute favorite foreign language editions. Moving on, we have right here, a new language, which I haven't even done on my channel yet. We have the Catalan edition of The Emperor's Soul. I still need to do an unboxing video for that. We have Chinese Simplified and Chinese Traditional, which is the mainland China publication and the Taiwanese China publication. And then from there, we jump to the next bookshelf because, again, I have some short shelves down here. So Chinese. Over here on bookcase 5, the Chinese editions finish up, and we have Czech editions with some very cool covers on them for some of the older Czech editions. And then Czech, and we move on to Danish and Dutch, and we have a bunch of editions there. Estonian has a few editions, and we move on to French. And we have the larger French books here, as well as some of the Secret Project books, and a bunch of really cool French books here. And when we get to German, that's when we need to jump back to bookcase number 4, where we have all of the smaller French editions. These books are really cool. I'm a bit bummed out that they have started reissuing the Stormlight books in French with the UK covers because they always had really cool, unique covers on them. We have more French editions, and blending into that, we get German editions. We have all the German paperbacks and some German hardcovers down here. And for one more little secret, this shelf in the middle right here is also double stacked. It is mainly the French editions, especially the smallest French editions back in here, but I also have the Japanese editions right back here, a little bit alphabetically out of order, but it's where they fit because they are so short. To move back on from bookcase 4, we do go past my work desk where I have my really funky keyboard with a Way of Kings mouse pad and spend my days working. And up at the top, I have the signed banner from Dragonsteel Entertainment at DragonCon one year, probably like 2018 or something, I believe, is when they all signed the banner and sent it to me. And then we have, yes, bookcase number 5 over here that we've already started on. We have the rest of the German editions. down here. Moving on to Greek, which is a really cool language. And after Greek, we have Hebrew. And this includes one of my favorite books, the second part of Words of Radiance, where they actually put Shalon art from Michael Whelan instead of the end papers. It's actually on the cover, as she deserves to be. So I have a special soft spot for that edition. After Hebrew, we have Hungarian, which also has some really cool split spine editions, and they've got a bunch more that I need to catch up and get. After Hungarian, we have Indonesian and Italian, and then we move on to Korean and Lithuanian. Only those 3 books out in Lithuanian. And then Polish. Brandon has had a lot of success in Poland, originally with some bad covers that we'll see on the next shelf, but later with these really awesome covers by Dominik Broniak. And again, there's a couple of these that I need to catch up on, but he has been doing amazing work on all of these Stormlight covers. Moving on from bookcase 5, we have a little closet. I am not going to look in there right now because it is a mess, but that closet has a bunch of the board games and minifigs and other swag items that I just don't have room for on my shelves right now. And then we have bookcase number 6. Up at the top, I have a couple of Ukrainian editions that just didn't fit in, and the very nice hardcover Mistborn editions in Spanish, which are here with the Mistborn bookends from the year of Sanderson, which are absolutely amazing. In the bookcase itself, we have a bunch of Polish editions. These are some of the ones that have absolutely horrendous covers that I am so glad they replaced. Brazilian Portuguese, Portugal Portuguese, Romanian, and Russian. And then we have Serbian, including a package from a fan in Serbia that I will get to doing an unboxing video. That one's going to be very exciting. Slovak, including the absolutely cool titles for the Reckoner series, Metallurg, Pyro, Catastropha. And after a few more Slovak editions, we get into the proper Spanish editions, which include a very wide variety of covers. Some of these are like the new US covers that are really cool for the trade paperbacks, and some of them are like this. Yeah, that was the original Mistborn cover in Spanish. It's atrocious. We have some really cool ones here, such as Brandon's Creative Writing Class, translated into Spanish, a couple of UPC books that have unique things in them, and things like that. Brandon's biggest foreign language is Spanish, so I have lots of Spanish books, and this is nowhere near a complete collection of all of the editions that they have put out in Spanish, but it is really cool. Also unique here are the guides to Mistborn that were never put out in English. And then last, down here, we have one more shelf with Swedish books, and then Thai books, and then Turkish books. And in the Turkish books is a copy of Children of the Nameless, which we cannot yet get in English. And it is numbered number 1 because I was the first person to bring Brandon a copy of Children of the Nameless in whatever language and have him sign it. So that's very cool. And then a couple of Ukrainian editions, which also go with the ones up at the top there that I just don't have room for. And then I have the Barnes & Noble poster that went with their Eye of the World re-release around when the first season of the Wheel of Time TV show was airing, and they gave it to me after they finished their display at the store, and I thought that was so cool. Moving on past that, we get a bookcase that is mostly trade extra random stuff with a bunch of books that haven't made their way onto the shelves yet. Down here at the bottom, it does have all of my Wheel of Time mass market paperbacks on here, which will get organized in at some point. And then proper bookcase number 7 over here. At the very top, we have my set of the Wheel of Time with the Juniper Dust Jackets. These are so freaking cool. Thank you again so much, Dave, who got these to me. They are amazing. They are just so cool to sit here and look at and have on one shelf arranged like this. Below that, we have the rest of the Wheel of Time books, oversized books, advanced reader copies, very much Not a complete collection here, but I'm not going out of my way to spend money to get a complete collection of these. I just kind of happen on them when they're on a good sale and pick them up. And yes, I do put the Unfettered 1 and Unfettered 3 books in with the Wheel of Time books because they are part of the Wheel of Time series, not any of Brandon's other series. And I have a handful of the leather bounds. I really need to get one for The Gathering Storm because that is the last major Sanderson publication that I don't have. A very nice minifig of Loyal, who is one of my favorite Wheel of Time characters, from Rick Martin again. Unfettered, numbered copies, and special copies of things like Eye of the World. And then the regular hardcovers of the Wheel of Time series. Very cool. No, the first few are not actually first prints, but anything after like book 4 is. And other things such as anthologies, Origins of the Wheel of Time, and so on. Trade paperbacks with their numerous different covers. And then we have the book club editions. They did the entire series in book club edition for the Wheel of Time. And then UK editions. We've got a couple of the hardcovers down here and some of the trade paperbacks, as well as some of the newer, smaller paperbacks. And we move those up to the top of bookcase number 8, where we have some of these others. Again, I don't have complete sets of like random UK paperbacks for some of these, so we just have these UK paperbacks here, smaller UK editions, the UK mass market paperbacks, and then we move on to random other editions, the rest of the UK, like new US covers for the show. These are the Hungarian editions of the last 3 Wheel of Time books. I picked those up when I did a big Hungarian order about 5 years back. And I have a bunch more foreign language Wheel of Time editions that are sitting in my storage unit. I got them from an auction from Robert Jordan's estate this past year, and I still need to decide what to do with them. Wheel of Time audiobooks and other books that still need to be shelved on the rest of my shelves, including a Misprint Hero of Ages, a couple of Chulls, my countersigned books, which is a really fun thing I do where I take a book of Brandon's and I will take it to another author and ask them, hey, can you vandalize this for Brandon? And so this is Brian McClellan. Hey, look at me. I'm Brandon Sanderson. Right. And then Brian signed it for me. And I had Brandon take a copy of Brian's book. For those who don't know, Brian was one of Brandon's students in Brandon's writing class at BYU, and they still live pretty close together and chat sometimes. And I am also a big fan of Brian's work, and I had Brandon sign Brian's book, and it says, hey, look at me, I'm Brian, beard. And Brandon signed it right over Brian's name. So all of these books on these, essentially from here down to right here, are countersigned books. Then I have extras that are for trade or sale, and some of these, like, I'll let go pretty easily. Like, if you want a Spanish Cytonic, just let me know. I'll probably just send that to you. If you want one of these cardinalities, you'd better have one of the books that are on my I desperately need this list. And that is the end of my books. So there you have basically everything in my collection. I hope y'all have enjoyed this look into all of my bookcases, and I will not be back next week with another video. Next weekend I will be at JordanCon having a blast, and after that I am going to be packing up all of these books and moving them up to Colorado. So don't really expect to see much from me until the fall of this year, but I will be back then with something fun. I will see y'all then, and until then, happy collecting.